Hey, beautiful souls, DR Holistic Healer here. I have several different prophetic messages, so please take the messages only that resonate, and whatever does not, if it doesn't apply, then just let it fly, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the message. So on the 23rd, I received the message, and some of you guys may have been finding yourself in a situation to where someone was projecting at you in a sense, okay? So let's just say like someone's antennas was going off. They made you their target in a sense. So therefore, if your root chakra was being activated, because there's something about when somebody's projecting in a sense, it's almost like they're projecting. Like, let me give you a quick example. If somebody likes you in a sense, if there's something that they like about you in a sense, it's almost like they start projecting in a sense. So sometimes you may be unaware of what's taking place, or you could be aware of what's taking place in a sense. So either, and sometimes in some incidents there can be either party doing this in a sense, okay? So this is why it's important to be mindful of the people that we keep company with, okay? Because as I saw this, it's almost like someone was kind of catcalling. I know that the men usually do the catcalling, but this was like this woman was doing catcalling, okay? So imagine somebody sitting like within a stall. Imagine two stalls in a bathroom, and there's a male sitting over here and there's a female sitting over here on this side, but you have the divider of the stalls that keep them separate. Well, this person was like using the bathroom. With this person over here, it's almost like the female kind of like had her legs like way up, almost like as an indication of saying that I am hot and ready to go in a sense, okay? So it's almost like they were projecting that energy off onto the other individual, okay? So that's something to be mindful of. And you also have to remember as well too, because I almost forgot, so thank you, Spirit, that we are in Mercury retrograde right now. So any people from your past can show up, past energies can show up in a sense. And just know that this, when we're stepping into Mercury retrograde, this is basically more so than the divine spirit of light, kind of like allowing, because Mercury goes backwards, or the planets go backwards in a sense, so we doing everything backwards. Basically what is happening here is basically it's almost like the universe is saying, hey, okay, you've gotten this far on your journey now, so let me take you backwards for a minute to see just how much you have grown. Are you still going to participate in the same practices, habits, and behavior that you was participating in before, or have you learned from those situations? Or do I need to keep constantly giving you situations so that you can learn from them in a sense, okay? Because sometimes God will send the same group of people into our vicinity in a sense, or God will send a, let me say it like this. God will sometimes send a different person. So even though you're learning a lesson with one person, he will send another person in if you have not learned the lesson. So if you think you're getting rid of one person and you still haven't learned the lesson, God will just send you somebody else who has the same habit or same tendencies as the other person. It's just you learning the lesson with a different person now. So this is important. This is important to make sure that we aren't projecting, and to make sure that we are actually learning what lessons it is that we need to learn. Because when we don't learn those lessons, God will just keep allowing revolving doors of people to come in learning the same lesson but with different people. Just when you think you're getting rid of somebody, you're learning it again with that next person. So this is the reason why it's important to do that, because like I said, God will kind of go backwards and test us in a sense to see how much we have evolved, okay? So the other thing to keep in mind as well too, so, and I also saw this in a dream too. So if some of you guys, especially the divine masculine at this time, those who are on their healing journey, so I saw it in a form of it's like somebody from your past in a sense, somebody showing up from your past. And it's like somebody showing up from your past, and it's almost like they're eyeing you, they're gazing at you, and they're trying to get your attention. But this is coming in a form of somebody who's kind of like close to, maybe like, if some of you guys have like young adult kids in a sense, who's somewhere around 22 or 23 in a sense, this came in a form of someone around about that age or whatever. So I'm not sure if some of you guys had a type in a sense of wanting to, entertain someone who is almost close to, possibly if you have kids, close to your children's age in a sense. That's something to be mindful of, because right about now we have to keep in mind too that the energies that are coming up at this particular time are for us to heal anything that is hidden way deep down within our subconscious mind. So this is important too, of making sure that you're not projecting off onto other people what you don't want to heal, because the longer that you do that, the more you're holding up the process in a sense. And right about now, God is sending this energy through here that's blasting everything out of every corner of our psyche in a sense, of our subconscious mind. So anything that has been sitting down there with cobwebs, sitting in boxes, stored in boxes that don't want to heal, it's like God is bringing that shit to the surface, okay? And he's bringing that to the surface so that it can be healed and dealt with, okay? once and for all. So I say all that to say, just make sure that, again, you're not projecting off onto other people, because you pushing your stuff to other people, that's not serving you any, and you're not doing the inner healing work in a sense. Okay, so it's something to be mindful of. Another thing to remember as well too is what else? So yeah, like I said, it was someone around about the age of, if you know, some of you guys have young adult children, like they were trying to get your attention in a sense. So some of you guys, and if that, and anything is showing up within your immediate environment, pay attention to that, because that could be something, and it could be a clue there from generational habits, patterns, and mindsets in a sense, a particular type of people. Because in this dream, I saw that this other person, okay, this male and this female that was showing up, this older male, like within his 40s probably, and then the female, she was like somewhere around 22, 23, or whatever the case may be. So if something like that keeps showing up, maybe you should ask yourself, why does this keep showing up in a sense? Because it's not the first time. But just know that when people like that are being drawn to you, it's for a particular reason. It's not necessarily what you think it is, but it's more so not because, I just heard somebody say, yeah, they like Big Papa, or they like whatever the case may be. But the point I'm trying to make here is, obviously this is a pattern that has been passed down from one generation to the next generation to the next generation, excuse me. And I just heard a second ago too that you have to re-examine your process or your thought of, rather thinking that, oh well, I'm Big Daddy, or you know, the young girls like me, in a sense. You have to look at this from a perspective of, you know, sometimes somebody could be looking for a sugar daddy, or somebody, and sometimes these men think that, you know, because somebody is looking for a sugar daddy, that this has been a pattern, it has been a habit, it has been a cycle. And I just heard, pay attention to people within your family and see who they have dealt with or who they have been engaged with, and kind of look at the age range of these people. That should be a clue to you, is just what I heard. Okay. So the other thing to be aware of as well too is, this information is coming up because God is revealing truths. He's trying to take so many people through a purification stage, a cleansing stage, a healing stage, and basically step more so into moral righteousness in a sense. Okay. So we can't step into moral righteousness until we clean out the old clutter and stuff that's sitting in boxes with cobwebs on it, you know, in closets, in stored away with 30 keypad locks on it, because people don't want to heal what was meant to be healed. Because when stepping onto this path of righteousness, in a sense, it's almost like everything has to be cleared. Okay, there's no half doing it, everything has to go. Okay. So the other thing to remember too as well is, like I said, like this girl showed up in a sense of just trying to get this male's attention, in a sense, like projecting, in a sense, like kind of like the other person who was like catcalling. So, well, catcalling, well, she was calling him, or whatever the case may be, but however you want to look at it. But the point is to pay attention to this and be mindful of this, because I keep hearing a specific type. So whatever your specific type was that you had, you know, whether it was somebody light skin, fair skin, or someone of a particular background that you always found yourself being drawn to, you have to look a little deeper than that and ask yourself, well, why am I always drawn to this particular type group of people, in a sense, or why am I always having a specific type of person that I'm looking for? So I say all that to say that, you know, sometimes there's deeper reasons of why you do the things that you do. Okay. And again, it could be, you know, contracts that maybe bloodlines may have signed in the past of, you know, and that you could be unaware of. So that's something to be mindful of as well too. Okay. The next message that I received was, as I said before, be mindful, because we are in Mercury retrograde. So if people from the past, or even if new people come in and they're showing up with the same patterns and old habits as other people, in a sense, that's something to be mindful of. Hence to say, like in this next dream I'm about to describe, I received on the 25th, it was like somebody was having a party, in a sense, and as they was having a party, someone was just sitting on the couch, in a sense, because I got the feeling like they wasn't necessarily resonating with the energy anymore. I got like they knew these people, they were like past people, but it's almost like, well, I don't even resonate with them anymore. Okay. So it's like where you once were active with these people, in a sense, engaged in conversation, you know, felt comfortable, in a sense, you know, now it's like, I don't even feel comfortable. I'm just like, you know, I'm just sitting here. I'm kind of ready to go in a sense. So again, don't force yourself to do something just for the get along, and don't force yourself to do something just for the status quo. Let me say that, okay? So just because I'm out here having a party, so in other words, if you feel like you've changed and you no longer resonate, exit stage left. Respect yourself enough to exit stage left and not just sit there because society would say, oh, well, why you leave? Why you leave? Why you leave? You don't have to explain anything to anyone, okay? Anyway, so the next message I received was, some of you guys are dealing with situations where you're kind of like divine spirit like has you like in a holding. You're not really sure what's coming next. And it, you know, that's part of the plan. Sometimes you just got to kind of go with the flow and find things to bypass that time in a sense, okay? And this next message that I received was somebody came as if they were wearing white. Oh, well, I already said that. Well, somebody come wearing white, okay? So as I said before, I believe I said this in the beginning. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, so the key is right about now, because some of you guys, okay, thank you, Spirit, because I already said that in the beginning. So bear with me. So some of you guys, some of you masculine energies, y'all have been kind of not, this message may not apply to all. It may apply to a handful. It may be just specific one person for a specific person, okay? So the way I saw this is to be mindful, because the way I saw this was, if you are someone who has been trying to control, manipulate, and project off onto somebody else what you want them to do, it's important to be mindful, okay? Because this, again, is something that is coming from past life energy, okay? Just that sense of control. Sense of control where, oh, I want you to do this and I want you to do that, and I'm not going to do this until you do this and do that, okay? So again, this is information that is coming up within coming from your subconscious mind and is making you aware of it. So do pay attention to your dreams again, okay? Because these are clues that the divine spirit of light is giving you of things that you kind of need to purge and get rid of, which is a habit. So therefore, if you were someone who was trying to control somebody, trying to manipulate somebody, and trying to get somebody to do what it is that you want them to do, well, let me give you a little clue. The key is to do the opposite, okay? The key is to do the opposite. Okay, let me say it again. The key is to do the opposite, okay? So with that being said, again, pay attention to your dreams and just pay attention to what is coming up, okay? Anyway, so because again, these are all clues to help you on your journey in a sense. And just like I said, keep in mind the people who are within your immediate environment, and just start to observe what message is trying to be conveyed, because sometimes the divine spirit of light comes in unexpected ways that you least expect it. And sometimes we can go right over our head and miss what message it is that is trying to be sent in a sense, excuse me. So this other message that I received too was like, I kept getting this feeling like somebody's trying to send a message of where you're mine in a sense, like you're mine, okay? Like, because the song, You're My Lady, excuse my singing, y'all. So that song came up, okay? And then another song had came up also too. It was by Lionel Richie and Donna Ross, My Endless Love in a sense. So I don't know if you guys want to go listen to the lyrics, if you feel compelled to. Maybe there's a message there for you that you need to hear, but yeah, somebody's trying to claim dibs on you is just what I heard in a sense. But yeah, so again, right now it's almost like we're under kind of like divine judgment in a sense, and it's almost like, again, people from your past may show up, and not only people from your past, but even new people may be showing up with past energies, okay, from your past. So keep that in mind as well too. And also too, I wanted to say this as well too. The divine spirit of light has made known to people who is who and who is not. Okay, so be mindful of how you moving right about now. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say. Just be mindful of how you moving right about now. Make sure you're not projecting. Make sure that hatred, envy, malice, jealousy, and all that other stuff isn't necessarily showing up, because if it is showing up, that is a clear telltale sign of there's more healing that needs to be done. Okay, so with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. But and be mindful of those people who want to actually take. Okay, let me say this. This is another message too. So be mindful of those people who want to try to take your shoes, not realizing what you had to go through not realizing what you had to go through in life in those particular shoes. Okay, so as I said before in another message, don't, it's important to not wear other people's clothes. It's important to not want what somebody else have, because you never know what they had to go through to get it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And when you want something that somebody else has, be mindful of that, because it's like the divine spirit of light will allow you to experience the same situation that they experienced. But the thing about it was, whatever they experienced, they might have made it through it. That could be a situation that you want something that somebody else have, and you may not necessarily make it through it. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to end it there, and I wish you all much love and much light.